What's going on? Welcome to another Urban Master experiment. So today's project is I'm going to address this issue that I've been having with my Jeep Wrangler 2012. It is a manual, and I'm not sure if it is isolated to a manual transmission only, but every once in a while, when the RPMs are fairly low, and when I press gas pedal, the Jeep almost momentarily shuts off, and then after a second it just lurches forward. There's a jerk forward. The first time it happened, I was at the toll booth and I thought somebody actually hit me, but it could happen on any gear. It could happen in the second gear, third gear. On a highway, when I'm trying to pass somebody, I'm on a sixth gear and I press the accelerator fast enough, it might also trigger that as well. And what makes it so difficult to detect is that it does not trigger any error codes, does not trigger the check engine light. I have my little scanner that I tried to see if there is anything. Nothing. I took my Jeep to a shop, there was nothing. As a matter of fact, after living with this issue for a while, I've learned how not to trigger it, or how to avoid triggering it to the best of my abilities, is not letting the RPMs drop down too low. But really randomly, I came across this post that talked about a guy that had exactly the same issue, and the way he fixed it is he replaced the crankshaft sensor. I got this crankshaft position sensor, and I'm going to replace this. If it does work, it would be awesome. It is a fairly cheap part, about $20–30 depending where you get it, depending which one you get it, and it's definitely worth a shot, worth a try. All right, let's try to get it installed. The crankshaft position sensor on my JK, and probably most of the JKs, is positioned on the right side of the transmission, right under the front passenger. Okay, so this is the front of the Jeep, and the sensor is right here. For reference, this is your oil pan. Okay, and the only bolt that holds it is 10 millimeters. And yes, before removing the existing sensor, visually compare, looks like it's a match. First we're going to remove the plug by pressing this tab, like that. And now just get this bolt out. Wasn't that tight. And now should be able to just pull it out. And there we have it, one crankshaft position sensor. So this is the old one, and you want to make sure that the new one has the oil ring. And actually, just like with any rubber rings, you want to add some oil just to make sure that the seal is good. We're going to use the oil from the existing one, from the old one. Now installing the new sensor back. Realign it with a hole, and there was a tiny little click. Now get the bolt going, and now reinstall the plug. Okay, there was a nice little click, and just tighten this bolt. That's it. I don't know, this is probably like a couple of foot-pounds. This is plastic after all. Alright, that's all there is to it. Now I'm just gonna go for a quick test drive. Alright, so far so good. No issues, no error codes, no check engine. And look at that, here's Oliver. The timing just could not be more perfect.
That's the time. Alright, let's start. What are we doing today?
We just replaced the crankshaft position sensor, and we need you. Are you ready to go for a test drive?
Alright, let's go.
Alright. After a while, after like a couple years living with this issue, I kind of almost figure out how not to trigger, but Oliver, being so rough on a gas pedal, he seems to have no issues of triggering this in the past. Alright, so we just went for a drive, and the Jeep, there was no jerking at all. And Oliver was driving. So it looks like this was a fix, and then it was relatively cheap fix for 20 bucks. That's it. Thanks, Oliver. for testing, for
Of course,
test driving.
I did the most of the work.
For sure, for sure. All right, so that's it. And if you like this video, share with your friends, like, and subscribe. Take it easy, guys.